Gamers, our general has been replaced with a new pink-haired cutie patootie, Fu Xuan. Yes, Fu Xuan's our new general, and she's coming out in the next patch. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about everything you need to do to build Fu Xuan. So guys, we're going to first start by talking about her skills, then we'll get into what Lightcones she needs, relics, cost to build, and then finally at the end of the video, so stick around for that, a Fu Xuan giveaway, guys. Yes, we're doing a Fu Xuan giveaway, giving one Fu Xuan away to someone on the YouTube channel here that subscribes to the YouTube channel and joins our Discord. More information on that though will be at the end of the video, so please watch the video all the way through for that and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. So first guys, I kind of want to start off with my general thoughts and also just a basic breakdown of what she does. She is probably going to be a solo sustained unit, meaning like probably close, I would say personally, close to the level of my boy Locha. She is absolutely cracked. Going over kind of what she does now, can't go into the specifics, but we can talk about kind of what she does. So her skill will activate the Matrix of Prescience, or however you say that word, I don't know. Basically what this does is going to increase the HP percentage of all allies, increase their crit rate, and on top of this is going to be dispersing 65% of the damage they might receive to Fu Xuan. So that means Fu Xuan will be taking 65% of the damage they receive, and this is really big because this makes them take less damage overall. Now, you might be asking, how is she solo sustained? Well, let me talk about how she's solo sustained. Her ultimate, guys, if you have Matrix of Prescience activated, which is her skill ability, which lasts for 3 turns, she'll be dealing quantum damage to all enemies equal to a certain percentage of her max HP, which we'll kind of talk about how to build her later on that, but this will be restoring some of your allies' HP. Going into her talents now, guys, whenever Fu Xuan's not being knocked down, while affected by misfortune avoidance, she takes 10% less damage. HP will restore when her HP falls below 50%. We saw this in the live stream, guys. Whenever she falls below 50% of her max HP, she will get an instant res on that health. It's absolutely insane the amount of HP percent she gets from this. I can't go into detail on this, but it's a pretty big amount of HP as you saw in the trailer. And she does a couple other things on top of that, which we can't talk about here. But yes, guys, she is absolutely cracked, absolutely insane. Now, gamers, let's go ahead and talk about all the materials you're going to need to build your sussy Fu Xuan. Actually, she's not really sussy, she's just super cute. But anyways, that's just a me thing, probably my favorite character in the game. So I'm going to be a bit biased. Anyways, guys, talking about the match, she's going to need 3.9 million credits, which if you didn't pull for Dragon Danny, you'll probably get this over the course of the month. Like I said in one of my previous videos, and don't get scammed on credits, you get, you know, around 5 million credits a month. So you should have enough to cover it if you didn't pull for Danny. If not, you might have to farm some of those credits up. And this does account for maxing out all traces, max level, everything like that to do with the character, right? So it probably is a little bit cheaper than this if you're not planning on maxing out her like basic attack, or maybe some of her abilities or something like that. So you don't necessarily have to spend this much, but that is the amount. Now, as far as the XP you're going to need, that's going to be 290 of the purple XP books. Yes, the purple XP books can be kind of cumbersome to get. It'll probably take you around 7 days to actually farm all of these up. Now, we actually do get a lot of materials from the new events in the game right now, so if you are saving on those, or you have the battle pass as well, this will probably come to you a lot easier than like normally farming them up, so just keep that in mind and take a look at your XP books. Now, these XP books are of the purple variant, so of course I'm not factoring in for you having any rare books or common books. So just factor that XP amount in whenever you're trying to calculate for how many you need. She's going to need 65 of the new level ascension materials, and that is going to be from one of the new bosses they added to the game. This should be pretty easy to get. It's going to be from the new monkey boss in the new area, so as long as you're beating him, you're going to get everything you need from him. As far as the boss mats, the weekly boss mats you need, you're going to need at least 12 of the Fantilia boss materials to max out all of her traces and everything like that. So pretty simple to get. I mean, you probably have a lot right now if you've been farming it every week from the game's get-go. So yeah, not that bad. As far as your big trace materials or your expensive trace materials that you have to farm, it's going to be 134 of the big shields, 64 of the medium shields, and 18 of the small shields. Yes, we have to farm shields because she is a preservation unit. Now, for the small trace materials, it's actually going to be like these little cube things that transform. I don't know the name of them, and I'll show a picture on screen of what they look like, and you guys can go from there. It's going to be 73 of the big ones, 71 of the medium ones, and 56 of the small ones. And that's really going to do it as far as building her character kit out. But let's go ahead and talk about the light cone as well, because if you're pulling for her light cone, then there'll be some extra cost involved, right? This is going to be 890,000 credits to actually max this out, 166 of the light cone EXP, the purple ones, 15 of the big shields, 12 of the medium shields, and 4 of the small shields. And then as far as your small trace materials, it's going to be 14 of the big cube things, 20 of the medium ones, and 20 of the small ones. So it doesn't really cost that much to like level up the light cones, but this is something you'll have to add into your total cost of building your characters. As far as your total credit amount you'll need for building the character and the light cone, that's going to be 4.79 million of the credits you're going to need, 154 of the big shields, 81 of the medium shields, and 22 of the small shields. And as far as those small trace materials, 87 of the big ones, 91 of the medium ones, and 76 of the small ones. And yeah, that's really it as far as things you're going to need for building Fu Xuan. But while we're on the topic of building Fu Xuan, let's go ahead and talk about what her best light cones are, her best in slot, her second best in slot, and her free-to-play option. I really won't be going over any of the other light cones. If you have questions about them, please leave your questions in the comments down below, and I'll try to get to you on those. So gamers, talking about her best in slot light cone, it's obviously going to be her signature light cone. Her signature light cone is absolutely insane. It honestly changes how she works as a character. The reason why this is so good and changes how she works, it's actually going to be increasing her max HP, increasing her energy regeneration rate. On top of this, when the wearer's HP was reduced, all allies' damage is increased by a certain percentage for 2 turns. That means whenever she gets hit, or anyone gets hit, while her skill's up, it is basically an overall 9% damage buff to all of the characters on the field. And finally, the biggest thing is, at the start of every wave, restores HP to all allies equal to 80% of their respective lost HP. So that means if they take damage, you're only technically losing 20% of their HP because they're going to heal it back up. This just changes her completely. This makes her go from like super good to like god tier. If you have this light cone and get this light cone, it is absolutely amazing for her. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is probably the best in slot light cone for every preservation unit, just because it gives the team more self-sustain. It also gives them increased damage as well, and it regenerates energy. So Gepard would love this light cone, even though his signature light cone is really good for him. I think this could potentially be better for him. Now let's go ahead and talk about her second best in slot, which I think is probably going to be Landau's Choice. Reason why I say Landau's Choice is her second best in slot is because it's going to be making the enemy target her more, which increases her aggro rate, which means she'll be getting more energy on top of this, and then she'll be reducing the amount of damage she's taking. She's already super tanky, so this is just super good for her. She'll be getting a lot more energy back because she's going to be targeted a lot more, and on top of this, like I said, reducing that damage that she is being dealt. Now, what I think to be her best free-to-play option as far as light cone goes is probably the Herta Shop light cone, Texture of Memories, and the reason I say this is because it is increasing her effect resistance by 8%, which is really big. So she's, I mean, well, I can't really talk about why the CC doesn't matter, but it'll help with dots and stuff like that, right? Also on top of this, if the wearer is attacked and has no shield, they gain a shield equal to 16% of their max HP. It seems like this is built for her, right? Because her whole kit revolves around her max HP, and this gives shield to her because she doesn't provide shield. So this is just making her even tankier. This makes a lot of sense for her, I would say. And then this effect can only be triggered once every 3 turns, which is completely fine, right? And then finally, if the wearer has a shield, when attacked, their damage they received is decreased by 12%, which is actually really big too, because, you know, she's already decreasing the amount of damage she takes anyways. So this just adds on to that with a shield, meaning she keeps the shield up for longer. And that shield does scale off of max HP, and she's the only tank in the game that scales off of max HP. So this is going to be really big for her. I saw a lot of people making the argument that We Are Wildfire is really good for her, and the only thing I don't like about We Are Wildfire is because it only lasts for 5 turns. That's my biggest gripe with We Are Wildfire. There's only a 5-turn condition. If you get past 5 turns with a character, that means if you're like really properly speed-tuned teams, those 5 turns are going to happen in at least 3 cycles, right? So if you're not beating stuff in 3 cycles, you lose this buff, and that's why I just can't recommend that one. Not to say it's bad or anything, it's just that 5-turn limit of what you have on that decreased damage to all allies, so that's why I don't like this one too much. Now, the moment you've probably been waiting for, what relics should you be building on, or what relics should you be farming up for your Fu Xuan, right? And honestly, my thoughts on this vary a bit from other content creators. What I do think to be her best in slot is probably the 2-piece Disciple, 2-piece of the Weathering Guard. Basically, the two-piece disciple is going to increase your max HP, which that's what she scales off of. She scales off of max HP, so give her as much max HP as possible. And then the weathering guard, which means she reduces the damage she's going to be receiving, right? So that means she's getting more sustainability and she's able to survive a lot longer. And on top of that, she's able to heal your allies better too, right? Another set you could run is 4-piece of the weathering guard. I mean, this set's alright. My only problem with this is, of course, I don't know about any leaks as far as this goes, but I don't know if the 4-piece for the weathering guard, I don't know if this will proc before or after her own ability procs to heal herself back up. So that's the only reason I'm kind of hesitant on that, is because if her ability procs before, then it makes this kind of useless. But, you know, is what it is, right? I think the 2-piece disciple, 2-piece weathering is the best. And another set you could maybe use, right? This is if you need to get her up to your speed threshold, is a 2-piece hacker space and 2-piece of the weathering guard or 2-piece disciple. Probably, I would say 2-piece disciple just to give the max HP. I think that is going to be the better option of the two. It gives her more sustainability and helps the team out more overall than the weathering guard does. So that's what I would recommend. Now, as far as planner sets go, I would just run Ageless or Keel. It really just depends on the situation that you're in, right? I think Ageless overall could be more beneficial to your team just because of the fact it's giving more max HP, so it helps her out. On top of that, it's going to be helping the team as well as far as their sustainability goes as well. But now Keel does offer a lot more damage, so you could run that as well. Now gamers, let's go ahead and talk about the stats you're going to be wanting to run on these gear pieces. On the boots, I would just run speed. You want to be at least reaching that 134 threshold to make sure you hit the breakpoint speed, right? Now as far as the body goes, I would say go for an HP percentage body just to give her as much HP percentage as possible, because that's what all of her abilities scale off of. Now as far as the sphere goes, I would probably recommend an HP percentage sphere just to add extra sustainability to the team. That's the way I'm gonna run her personally, is just go all HP percentage as much as I can to really support the rest of the team. Now, you could run quantum damage bonus here if you want her to play more of a DPS role, but that's just gonna be up to you. Me personally, I want to run more sustainability. As far as the rope goes, I would recommend running energy regen rope. You could run HP percentage up here, but I do recommend energy regen to help get the ultimate off, because the ultimate is really important to the sustainability of your team. So getting her ultimate back up as quickly as possible is probably the best case scenario. On top of this, she'll be gaining energy every time she gets a hit, and she is going to be technically the one that gets hit the most, right? Because she has the highest aggro rate, so it means you'll get more energy for that. Now, as far as some of the substats I would recommend running HP percentage substat, flat HP, effect resistance, and crit damage you could run, because there's really not that much more you have to run with that. Like, genuinely, I don't know what other stats you would want to run on her other than HP percentage and effect resistance, maybe some defense, but I mean, she has damage resist already with a high-ass HP amount, so I mean, you could run crit damage and it'll allow her to DPS some more. Not to say she's a good DPS unit by any means, or is going to be viable to DPS, but getting some extra damage out is always nice for those characters. So yeah, gamers, that's going to be everything that you need to build your Fu Xuan before she comes out to the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this section of the video here. I love her to death. She's one of my favorite characters, and I will be making a video on why not to summon for her, because I do that with every character. Anyways, gamers, let's go ahead and talk about the Fu Xuan giveaway now. We will be having a Fu Xuan giveaway. All you'll need to do to enter that is, as I said at the beginning of the video, you'll be needing to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also join the Discord. That will be linked in the description down below. Outside of that, though, all you're going to really need to do is wait until the timer ends. I think there'll probably be a little over a week left for the giveaway. Whenever the giveaway is won, I'll contact you personally through like a DM or something like that. I will be giving you a guaranteed 1 Fu Xuan, so you don't have to worry about not getting Fu Xuan in these summons, and you don't have to worry about any of your Jades being spent. That was a concern of the last video. I guess I didn't explain it too well. I won't be using any of your Jades. It's a giveaway. Why would I use your Jades, right? Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe and join the giveaway if you haven't already, and that's going to do it. See you gamers later. Bye-bye.